Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Point Salad. This is a small card game that you can fit into a lunchtime break. It is a filler style card game where you are very simply taking cards and trying to use those sets to score points. It's from AEG and they have provided me this copy for the review, so just bear that in mind, although these are 100% my honest and full thoughts on the game. Now, how does the game play? Well, very simply, on your turn, you will take either 2 vegetable cards from the market of 6 or 1 point scoring card from the top of the 3 decks. Whichever you choose, you'll put those in front of you, and then you have a bonus option to flip over any single point scoring card that you'd already taken to its vegetable side. That's the only way you can turn a card over. It cannot be a vegetable into point scoring, only that one way, and only 1 card can be flipped a turn. Then play simply moves on to the next person. Now, the real catch and caveat here is that you are taking the vegetables, be that tomatoes, yellow peppers, cabbage and stuff like that, and the point scoring cards are going to be making things more or less valuable to you. So 1 card might make it be really good for you to collect sets, maybe 3 tomatoes. That could get you 8 points. Another point scoring card, however, may give you, say, 4 points for carrots, but lose you 2 points per tomato. And every vegetable card you have, well, that scores for every single card. So while the tomatoes might score you for some point scoring, they might lose you for others. All of the points are calculated at the end of the game, and well, whoever has the most points from their salad wins. Now, that's probably my first slight negative. We'll go there first because, it's a good place to start. At the end of the game, there is a little bit of time where everyone does need to calculate their points. I think it's better than throughout the game having to pause and stop and calculate points. But, once you've played the game, there is certainly a minute of everyone calculating or typing into a calculator to work out who won. Not a huge issue because it's a very short period of time compared to the overall game, but it is something to bear in mind. From one game to the next, you don't know what's going to be good, and that's a really nice thing about this. In one game, everyone might be fighting for tomatoes. In the next game, it's the cabbages. Or potentially you're going for cabbages, someone else is, say, going for lettuce, and then you start being, after a few games, it starts being, I can't let you have that point scoring card. I can't afford for you to pick up that pepper to complete that set. And the game starts to be as much about how can I maximise my points as what can I not let the other players have. Now, some groups may really like it when it twists on like that from what am I doing to what is everyone else doing. I think it's brilliant, the fact that sort of game evolves with you and turns into that, and it can do that very quickly because it is a simple game. At the end of the day, none of the point scoring things are complex. I think the most complex is one of them that scores you, say, 5 points for every vegetable type that you don't have. Now, I've been screwed over with that because on the last turns you might have to take a card and someone left me with 2 vegetable types I hadn't got. That lost me 10 points on that final taking of cards. So, it really does grow with you and turns from a game where it's really nice and pleasant and, I'll just take this, just take that, score some points at the end of the game to, well, look, they're going to be getting a lot of points here. We cannot let that happen. And I think that was a great aspect. Now, when you open the box up, I think the first time I ever opened it up, I was a little bit like, oh wow, because despite the box being this size, it could have been half the size because the deck basically only fits in half of this box. It's a small box anyway though, so it's not hogging lots of room, but I think for portability, if the box was half the size, it would have been much easier to throw in a backpack or something like that if you're going away. it's still not bad, and to be honest, you could just take the deck of cards. You don't really need the rules once you know the game. Production-wise, apart from the slightly big box, I think it's a really nice production. The vegetables, they're all different, vibrant colours, and in case there is sort of the colourblind issue, obviously they are different shapes and different vegetables, so you can very clearly see this is a tomato, this is a pepper, and stuff like that. So there shouldn't be any issues for colour blindness, and very much I think it really makes the bright colours pop the game from the table of what could be a very sort of boring game. It just makes it bright and a bit more. Everyone sort of walks past and has a look because of those bright colours. And the iconography keeps everything fast and easy to read. You can glance at a card, you know what vegetable it is. You can glance at the point scoring cards and know what you've got to collect. So a brilliant plus point of view from that angle. When it comes to the scoring, there are some aspects where in one game 50 points might win you the game, and in the next game that could be the lowest scorer, which is a bit of an odd one. A lot of games like this, you're very consistently always going to get around, say 50, 70 points or something like that. In this, one game, depending on who you're playing with and how sort of hate drafty you're playing, where you're sort of making sure you take cards other players could need or want, you could really have a massive swing of points. And not every game is close. I've seen some games where it's won by 2-3 points and other games where it's won by 30-40 points, just because someone's been able to get all of the cards they needed to create a set multiple times and scored a lot of points. But you kind of feel like, okay, I've let them take those cards and collect those sets, or I've accomplished something by collecting all of these cards to score me those many points. So either way, I think you don't feel like a huge amount of luck's happened, even though technically it's kind of luck of the draw because there are decks of cards. Now, the game does have one bugbear of mine, which is, depending on the player count, you have to remove a load of cards. Now, it's not as bad as some, like say 7 Wonders or something like that. You have to look at the little number at the bottom and be like, take these ones out because it's not the right player count, and use these ones. Now, in Point Salad, it's not quite like that, but you're only using, or you're removing, so many lettuces. So you might have to search through the deck to say, take 9 lettuces out, or use 9 lettuces. And it's just a small amount of time, but it just slows the game getting to the table. There is a perfect amount of players. I think it's 3, where if you play with 3, you use half the deck. And then you can play again straight away with the other half of the deck. And that's like a really nice feeling. And you wouldn't get that from if it had removed specific cards for specific player counts. So I like that, and the fact that you could always have a different lot of cards, but always the same ratios. There's always like the same 6 vegetables, or there's always 12 or 9 of the vegetables, depending on the player count. So they've done that in a good way. It still slows getting the game to the table a little bit, but it is worth it. So this is my final thoughts really. Point Salad is definitely staying in my collection. It's one of those quick games, 15-20 minutes, you'll have taught the game and played it. People will know what's going on and they're probably wanting to play again. I wouldn't go as far as it saying it looks completely stunning and mind-blowingly good, but it looks nice and vibrant, and I think it's eye-catching because of those colours. The cards are easy to read, all massive plus points for me. I like the fact, to be honest, that one game can score very differently from the next. That might put some people off, and I think, because of that, sometimes you do feel like, oh, I only got 30 points, but the winner got 50, and then in the next game you could be getting 70 and still losing by the same amount. I think it's still good. It's because it's maybe so fast and quick, it gets away with that. If this was, an hour-long game and there was huge point swings, that's not good. But it's a small, quick game. Some nice sort of puzzly bits of, do I risk taking this point-scoring one? Can I get these few and they score that one vegetable type a lot? Do I go for sets? What do I go for? And when do I get point scoring cards and when do I take vegetables? Some great choices there. And that's why I'm really enjoying Point Salad. And I think a lot of people out there will too. Anyway, thanks for listening to the review. There's more and other things on the channel. Like there was a best of the month video with a range of creators, loads of great games on there. There'll be some other reviews of AEG games coming soon, so stick around for that. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, I'm Oliver East, signing out.